Welcome to another episode of Sons of Thunder. Sean, how we doing today?
I'm doing fine and dandy, Corden. How are you doing, my friend?
We're doing good today. What's our topic that we have for the beautiful people today?
Well, seeing as how today is Walt Disney's birthday, at least as of the taping of this episode, December 5th,
Really?
yeah, it would be a
I
good
did
day
not know
to
that.
savagely criticize his company. Yeah. Uh,
Useless fact of the day, too. Walt Disney signed up for cryostate. The disease he had that killed him, he thought in the future it could, they could thaw him, but they can't figure out cryostate, so he's dead. So,
okay.
yeah.
All right. At any rate, the big complaint that I know some people might have other complaints about Disney, such as storylines and stuff like that, or perhaps the quality of them lately. But my biggest complaint with Disney is their woke leftist agenda.
Yeah, they have a lot of influence, and we'll be talking about that influence. But with that influence, it's changed into just like a push for the woke movement, right? And
Well, big time.
just change what you thought were going to make you think this way instead.
Well, it's not just a small thing. They've taken some rather extreme positions. It's not even just a little bit woke or that sort of thing. They've taken they have positions on everything such as critical race theory, environmentalism, feminism,
Yeah,
and of course LGBTQ and gender ideology.
right.
I mean, for me that's the biggest thing, the LGBTQ and gender ideology. Not because, well, it's mainly because most of this stuff is geared towards kids. And it seems to
Yeah,
me that there is a deliberate attempt by creators at Disney to indoctrinate children to think progressively about such issues. But I mean, so I would say that their views, like I said, they're not even just a little bit leftist or whatever. They're woke. They're extreme. For instance, I don't know if you heard of the what was called by detractors the "Don't Say Gay" bill.
no,
You haven't heard of
no.
that?
Explain that to me.
All right. The Say Gay" bill was it's called uh, the the Protection for Children's Rights, Parental Rights and Education bill is actually what it's called. The bill was set to prohibit classroom instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through third grade.
Okay, so it's like don't tell the kids through that age group about changing genders or gay or lesbian. Don't kind of indoctrinate them. Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Look at 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds and 7-year-olds do not need to be told that you can't know what a woman is or what a man is,
Yeah,
and that people can flip up their sexual identity at any moment. These kids don't understand sex. They don't. A
yeah.
5-year-old doesn't get it. He or she is trying to figure out for themselves who they are as a man or as a boy or a girl, a male and a
I
female.
mean, they don't even know what half the things in life are, let alone themselves. They don't know. They have to be taught to see what a boy is, what a girl is.
That's
I
right.
mean, that's what the parents are supposed to do.
Right. And like I said, they're just trying to figure it out. Now, if you want to throw into this that and now they're going to be taught that there really is no difference, or that anybody can flip and turn, for a boy can be a girl and a girl can be a boy. It's absurd. The bill also, though, like I said, it's a parental rights bill. Uh, made it so that school administrators and that sort of thing have to tell the parents if they're going to put the child into psychiatric counseling, mental health counseling,
Oh,
and
geez.
that sort of thing. And which this is all common sense.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't have to be like a conservative Christian or even a conservative. You just have to be a parent, for the most part, to be against the idea that a 5-year-old's got to be told that your mom could be a guy.
Well, not only that, I mean, as a parent, you should have a little control over your family or your children, and say, I'm not going to have someone else tell them what they are or are not. That's, in my household. Whether you're agreeing with, transgender and or not, you shouldn't allow another organization, or a school or even a bill to say, we're going to tell you. That should be
Or
up
we're
to the
going to tell,
parent, right?
yeah, and we're going to tell your children. And by the way, we're going to counsel them psychiatrically if they're having a problem. If we think that they need counseling as far as gender assignment or whatever it is, we're going to give it to them, and we don't need to tell you about it. In fact, we're not
Yeah,
going to
that's
tell you
ridiculous.
as a parent about it. That's a bunch of nonsense. But the Disney company was definitely against this bill.
Yeah.
And in fact, Chad, if you'd bring up Walt Disney statement pick, the first one.
Yeah, look at that.
All right. It says here, the following statement may be attributed to a person for the Walt Disney Company. Okay. Florida's HB 1557, also known as the Don't Say Gay Bill, should never have passed and should never have been signed into law. Our goal as a company is for this law to be repealed by the legislature or struck down in the courts. And we remain committed to supporting the national and state organizations working to achieve that. We are dedicated to standing up for the rights and safety of LGBTQ members of the Disney family as well as LGBT community.
Yeah, whether you're up to that or not, whether you stand for that or not, it doesn't mean that the kids have to hear it. In that age group, I mean, why have we gone away from just parents doing their job as a parent?
Yeah, I mean, so that's right. These people, they insist on teaching children from the earliest age of this stuff. They can barely, from the time they can barely speak to all the way on up. And that's called, to my mind, indoctrination. That is not education.
Yeah, especially if Disney is doing it, because Disney is a corporation. They're a company that deals with a bunch of different things. And when they're the ones saying we're against that, that means that they want to be the one to also indoctrinating. They also want to be the one that pushes this agenda on kids that don't need it, right? I mean, that for a company to go against something that is a passed bill, right? It
was signed into law by DeSantis, governor of Florida.
That's ridiculous. And
they
one
spent millions of dollars trying to overturn it and donating to groups that were trying to overturn it. And they, as far as I know, they still are.
Yeah. And so why I think and why we both agree, and we're trying to convince you why that's terrible. Not only is it because it's bad in itself, but the disagreements if you can change your gender and all that, that's for another topic. But we're talking about Disney right now. And Disney was the one that went against that, right?
Right.
And Disney as a corporation is huge. And for saying stuff like that, they have their hands in everything. Like, I don't think you understand how many companies they control. Like, they control Marvel, right?
Yes.
They control Star Wars now, which you seem to still hold the flag against Star Wars. I don't know why.
I'm a Lord of the Rings person.
That's not against Star Wars.
No, but I'm not a space geek.
Put up that picture of all. This is just a few. It's just a few of them, okay, of what Disney owns. Disney owns FX. They own ESPN. They own National Geographic. Obviously, they have a whole cruise line, and then the Disney Pixar connection, right? They own 20th Century Fox.
That would be Fox News too, then?
Yes. They own ABC Studios. And then companies that aren't even on here, I have a whole page full of lists of companies that they own. They own Yes Network. They own Hulu. They own Star Wars and Marvel, like we talked about. They own ABC, like it says right there. But ABC Studios has tons of companies within them that is under the ABC brand, which is technically under the Disney brand. You have A&E, the show, like the channel.
Yeah, Arts and Entertainment.
Right?
Yeah.
That's owned by ABC, which is owned by Disney. You have the History Channel, which is owned by A&E,
Oh no, not the History
which is
Channel.
owned by ABC,
I
which
love
is
the
also
History
owned by Disney Channel. You have the Lifetime Channel. You have, which is all for women, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you watched that one?
I don't watch
I
that.
thought that was a regular scheduled. You record that.
Trifling foolishness, Corey.
Okay. FYI, Crime and Investigation Network, Freeform Network, Live Well Network. ABC 7 is a corporation that owns 7 local channels all over America. And then they also own this one called Telemunich, which is 4 German companies and 4 Austria companies. They own GoPro. They own Animal Planet. They own they have a Chinese holding with 18 companies inside that Chinese holding.
Oh yeah, they just opened up a theme park not too long ago. I believe in what was it? It's somewhere in China.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they spent $75 million to buy Jim Henson. Sorry, Jim Henson. So Disney owns the Muppets. They own anything that Jim Henson had owned, such as Fraggle Rock, the Muppets from Sesame Street, Kermit, all of them.
Well,
Disney owns them.
They didn't make Kermit gay yet. I don't think.
Not yet.
Not yet.
But that's because Piggy would probably go berserk, right? We don't want that. I mean, the Longhorn Network, Touchstone Network, Bird in Hand Workshops, Spherio, Plymouth Productions, Buena Vista Constructions. They own construction companies because they own land property, and in that they own amusement parks, right? And we know about Disneyland and Disney World, but they own different amusement parks and different land that out of the place that they own. I mean, it's just they own Steamboat Ventures, which has 29 companies within that. Like they have so much pool that you don't even know about.
Right.
Like it's everywhere. I mean, I personally, I'm big into sports. I watch ESPN all the time. And am I being indoctrinated without even knowing it by Disney? Maybe.
My understanding is ESPN has gone very left.
I mean,
very woke.
I'm big into Marvel, right? I love Marvel comics and I read the comics. I watch the movies. That's taken over by Disney. Disney's destroyed Star Wars. If you're a big Star Wars fan, they've totally taken it away that no Star Wars fan likes. I mean, they own this one company called UTV. It has 17 companies within that. It's like their fingers are just in so much that you pull one string and it's actually connected to tens and thousands of other, money conglomerate all over the place.
Well, yeah, I had no idea about any of that, Corden.
And so that's why it's such a big thing, because though they may be pushing their own agenda is covered by National Geographic.
Yeah.
Their agenda is covered by Fox Sports. It's like, why am I having to deal with, Disney's agenda when I'm dealing with sports or comics or nature with, Animal Planet or National Geographic?
Yeah, I hear you. And, yeah, it's vast. I had no idea. It's vast. But imagine though working for them if you're not part of the leftist progressive movement. I mean, I have if you the fact that they're extremely leftist can be documented and has been by this next clip is from a fellow by the name of Christopher Rufo. Okay. He's a senior fellow at the Manhattan Institute, and he's a Substack investigative journalist. This clip shows Disney executive producer Latoya Raveneau speaking to her team about the queer agenda and the ease which she had in implementing it. If we could bring that up, Chad.
It's like, I love Disney's content. I grew up watching, all of the classics. They have been a huge, informative part of my life. But at the same time, I worked at small studios most of my career, and I'd heard, you hear whispers. Like I'd heard things like, oh, they won't let you show this at a Disney show, and I'm like, okay. So I was a little like sus when I started, but then my experience was bafflingly the opposite of what I had heard on my little pocket of like, proud family Disney TVA. The showrunners were super welcoming. Meredith Roberts and like our leadership over there has been so welcoming to like my like not at all secret gay agenda. And so like I feel like I felt like it was, I mean, like maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess like something must have happened in the last like they were turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that like momentum that I felt, like that sense of I don't have to be afraid to like, let's have these two characters kiss, let's in the background to start, like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to like if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But like I just was like, no one would stop me and no one was trying to stop me.
That's ridiculous.
Shakalaka. I mean, that I find to be shocking. It's what if none of this is it even has to be a part of the story. It's she clearly has an agenda.
Yeah, her agenda is push her agenda wherever she can and has the ability to, right?
The queer agenda. Look, I don't care if people are queer, gay, lesbian, or whatever.
Do your thing.
Yeah, do your thing. Do you? I that's not my business what you do. It's no concern of mine. But when you push it on to kids, you push it on to my grandchildren, then I have a concern. And that's what they're trying to do. Quite clearly, it came right out of this executive producer's mouth.
Yeah, and I have to say this too. I mean, when you're part of the LGBTQ group, right? One of their things is don't push your beliefs on me. Well, then why don't you stop pushing it on us? Because that's what we're seeing. And then you put it into a company that has so much ties into everything that's pushing it down my throat, and I can't stop it because I like these things. I like National Geographic and Fox and ESPN,
Yeah. The less progressive employees said just exactly what you just said. They said that they feel like they can't express their views. The more traditional people that are involved, that are employees of Disney, have said that they're pretty much been put into exile, and they're worried that they'll lose their jobs or they'll be fired or made to shut up or whatever. Like for instance, they put out an open letter, and in which they describe some of the difficult. This was last year. In which they describe the difficulties that they're having as more traditional and perhaps religious people, religious workers at Disney. I don't want to read the whole thing because it's too long, but I got a couple good quotes from it. Starts off, again, these are the employees of Disney, saying, over the last few years, one group of cast members is what they call employees at Disney. One group of cast members, yeah, I know, has become invisible within the company. The Walt Disney Company has come to be an increasingly uncomfortable place to work for those of us whose political and religious views are not explicitly progressive.
Yep.
We watch quietly as our beliefs come under attack from our own employer, and we frequently see those who share our opinions condemned as villains by our own leadership.
Man, I mean, you're saying that about your company, that the company that is worldwide. I'm sure Disney is silencing these claims.
Yeah, you have to. You just have to suck it up when everybody's criticizing everything that you believe and everything that you stand for. I mean, and that's fine. I guess people have to do that in society. But why is the other side? Why does it have carte blanche to say and do whatever it wants? It goes on here. An internal poll within the company went out a few months ago asking us if we felt accepted in the company. Many of us didn't complete it because the nature of the questions made us worry that the results of the poll could be used to target us for quietly holding a position that runs against the progressive orthodoxy that Disney seems to promote. TWDC, the Walt Disney company,
Yeah.
TWDC has fostered an environment of fear that any employee who does not toe the line will be exposed and dismissed.
Jeez.
Again.
It's practically telling you that you're going to get fired or you're afraid to get fired by saying what you believe, right?
That's what they're talking about. They're saying they're afraid to even express their views. And lastly, I'll just do this last quote here from their open letter. Furthermore, as this politicization makes its way into our content and public messaging, our more conservative customers will feel similarly unwanted. You can only preach at or vilify your audience for so long before they decide to spend their money elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely how it is. I mean,
Yes.
you feel the pull when you're working that I can't be myself. And I'm sure that's why I'm sure that the LGBTQ community is saying the opposite, right? They're saying that no matter what, we felt that beforehand, and now it's flipped. And now the people who may be a little bit more conservative, they're feeling that now, and they're like, well, that's how we were, so now you have to deal with it, right?
I suppose that's how they feel. I'm not sure, but I mean, I just think that radical political views just shouldn't be rammed down the kids' throats. That's all. I mean, you believe what you want to believe, but at any rate.
Well, I mean, they're doing this with their own characters, right?
Certainly. I mean, Chad, could you bring up Minnie?
Minnie Mouse.
There you go. See, now you look. If you look at where she's in that red dress. Shush you, Corda. What the? Just quiet.
The red dress that is.
Yes.
That's her common place, right?
More,
that's where she was created.
Yeah, that's more or less traditional. What she's looked like for how many years now? 60 years or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. 78.
I think they're going to their 75th or something like that.
Yeah, and now though, look at her on the right there.
It looks like pajamas.
Yeah, you know what she looks like? She's in this blue pantsuit, and she actually looks like Hillary Clinton. They made Minnie Mouse into Hillary Clinton.
I don't know about that, but I understand why you say that. Yes, blue pantsuit. Yes, Hillary
blue
there's
pantsuit.
There's other
Hillary
women in
wouldn't
power
wear
that
the
have
bow.
blue pants fit. Right.
She wouldn't wear the bow, but other than that's Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, why are they changing it?
Look
I
at
guess
those
is the
sensible
reason.
shoes,
You know,
man.
why are they changing Minnie?
Yeah.
She was fine beforehand.
But yeah, and if you go on there, they have shows like they're in their streaming services for kids. Like I don't know, like Andy Mack had a 12-year-old coming out as gay, and the same thing with kids in the High School Musical show and other children's shows streaming on Disney Plus. As if these kids, like a 12-year-old, knows that they can that they're not the sex that they were assigned or that they're homosexual.
Well, not only that. I mean, if they believed in one thing, then Disney, because I love this character, or I love this movie that I'm watching, or I love these group of people that I'm watching or reading about, Disney is making me think that thing is better or okay when I was initially taught that it wasn't. And so even though there are different beliefs and different understandings on how you should be living and adjusting in life, why can't it be, okay, we're not going to shove it down your throat. You can believe that. You can have that. You can live that way. Just don't push it on my family and my kids and my, life. Why does it have to seep through my television because you agree with it,
That's right, man. It's like, why does there have to be this message of any sort behind these movies and these children's shows? Why can't it just be a good story?
Yeah.
Entertainment for people to watch.
Well, I mean, it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, it used to be. One of the things, and you haven't seen this. I made it specifically for that reason, but I take pride in this. Okay, I take pride in that the relationship that we've had over decades now. Right.
Yeah.
The only thing I kept on talking about Wolverine I kept on talking about Spider-Man. I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I always wanted you to find a superhero, right? And
Right.
you'd be like, no, I don't want any of that crap. That's stupid. You make fun of men in spandex. Okay,
Yeah.
you did all this,
Yes.
but I make it it's a proud moment in my life that I actually got you to like a Marvel superhero, right?
Yeah.
And who is he?
Punisher.
The Punisher. Bring up the Punisher picture. That's our boy.
Yeah.
That is an awesome picture.
That's BA.
I love the Punishers. That's one of the reasons why we have our little Punisher guy here, and we have our Punisher in movies in the back. Punisher, we enjoy Punisher together, right? I even bought you a Punisher shirt and T-shirt. This is what Disney has done. They have changed your favorite character, Sean, and this is annoying me because, like you just said about storylines, right? Why are you changing the storyline just to put your own agenda in, right? This is what Punisher looks like now. Switch to that next play. That's his logo now.
What's up with that?
I know. Doesn't that look demonic?
Yeah.
That's the Punisher logo now. He looks evil.
Yeah. Before he looked BA, now he just looks. I don't know, man.
Now, also, not only that, he doesn't have the guns anymore.
Oh, he doesn't.
No.
Oh, I see that.
He walks around in swords like in the back.
Oh, okay.
So he doesn't do the guns anymore. He doesn't have the symbol that was known for fighting back and kind of that American armies and everybody would slap that on their tanks. He doesn't have that anymore.
Nice.
That's his logo now. That's the Punisher logo now.
They messed up that really cool logo. That's unfortunate.
And they messed up the character because they took things away from him and made him look the way that Disney wants to do it. And this is one other thing. It's like, why is Disney making something like this? Who everybody loves the Punisher, and even if you don't know much about him, you like the logo, right? The logo is put on everywhere.
Yeah.
Now you're making it look evil. Now you're making it look demonic.
Yeah.
This is the type of stuff that we're talking about, where Disney itself, I guess you can't call it itself evil, but the things inside it are destroying the things that we like all through our childhood, all through as we growing up. I mean, I can't stand looking at the Punisher now.
Well, it's like they're basically giving the middle finger to their fan base in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with this woke agenda stuff. I mean, like the movie Stranger World, that features a gay teen romance involving the main character. That film generated $28 million. That seems like a lot of money, but when you consider, I mean, it's estimated that film cost $150 million to make. So 20 million, it made 28 million, but it cost 150 million. The Marvels movie,
That movie's bombing in theaters.
flopping like a fish. It's Marvel has made. There's been 33 movies made, and this is the lowest grossing of them all. Again, it made 200 million. That sounds like a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Not for
But
Marvel.
if they spent 220 million to produce it, it's not even breaking even.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing that bothers me, and it makes you wonder. They don't. It's as if they don't really care so much about the money. Their message overrides
Oh,
good
that's a good point.
storytelling. That's why I think it's a cultic woke mind virus.
It's almost like we don't care if you like it or not. We're gonna still do.
We're
What
going to
we wanna
shove
do.
this down your throat regardless.
Right, but
because
with
it's important.
all the companies they own and all the money that they've spent, do they really need that one big hit from a Miss Marvel movie? Like they don't. Like it's nothing to them. But like that's a good point. What you said actually makes sense. Maybe they don't even care.
Yeah, they'll lose money because they keep pushing that agenda. They keep bombing with it, but they keep pushing it anyway because it's that important to them. Which sounds to me like it's a religion rather than a company. I mean, they'll say to heck with the storyline, and we. So what if people don't show up so much? We've got to tell society that this is the way that they got to think. Our agenda is more important than even making blockbusters.
Yeah, and so one of the reasons why we guys brought it to you is because of the local news that Elon Musk did. Right, Elon has had dealings with Disney because he owns Twitter, which he calls X, right?
Right.
And his dealings with Disney have got to a point where he's like, you know what, I don't care. And I feel like this is how we all should be when it comes to people shoving things down our throat that we don't agree with.
I mean,
Right?
Yeah. If you look at this, if you could bring this up, chat. Elon Musk is responding to Bob Iger. He said he's withdrawing all his advertising from X, Twitter.
Right.
He says because allegedly Musk had made an anti-Semitic comment. However, Musk deeply apologized for it, and he explained that that's not what he meant. At any rate, I think that Iger and Disney just doesn't like Twitter because it's an open forum and people can say what they want to say.
Yeah.
Which is very, very different than the woke agenda. So if we could bring that up, please.
There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger
I hope
today.
they stop.
You hope
Don't advertise.
you don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
I love that.
Yeah, see, he had to say hi to
I
Bob
love
Iger. They tried to make this man buckle under. Oh, we're taking our money away from you. Of course, you got to be very powerful and not and be the richest man in the world to be able to say something like that. I guess.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we can say it or think it, but we can't push back to a conglomerate that's controlling half of everything in the world, like Disney.
You can get rid of your subscription to Disney Plus for one thing, and you can stay away from their movies, which has been happening anyway.
Yeah, but can you stay away from everything else? Can you stay away from Fox Network?
I hear
Can
you.
Stay away from National Geographic and ESPN and all the other things, ABC. That's a local channel for everybody.
Yeah.
And so though we can try to fight back in little ways, this is Elon saying, I don't care. And this is one of the richest fans in the world. He's saying, you're going to bribe me with money?
Yeah.
I don't care about money.
You know what's funny is if you looked at that video, he's wearing a bomber jacket, the kind of jacket that you'd wear, that the pilots would wear during World War II if they're dropping bombs over Germany or something like that. And then he goes on there and drops all these F-bombs. I just was wondering if that was
the
deliberate.
irony, huh?
Yeah.
I love how he goes like this.
Yeah,
I need to emphasize it.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the reasons why we thought this topic would be great. Not only just because of what Disney's doing, but because this is hot in the news feed right now. If you go anywhere, you're seeing how Disney is pulling from Twitter, and Elon doesn't care. And Elon owns Twitter. He doesn't care. And he's like, I'll do with my company what I want, and you won't tell me what to do. Like we're talking about, how they're pushing what they want down people's throats constantly. Even the richest man, one of the richest men in the world, is saying, go ahead, see what I do.
Right.
So we always end with a quote of the day. Now, I will admit this quote has been, a lot of people have said this quote. Martin Luther King has said this quote. This quote's been in movies before. Other people have said this quote, but it kind of fits with today, and it's really short. It just says, your ignorance is their power. And that fits perfectly because the more that we don't care on what is being shoved down our throats, the more powerful they get. And with anything in the world, the more you know, the more you can have your own backbone against people that are telling you one way or the other, right? I mean, it's kind of how it is, when it comes to how we should be living and standing up by ourselves.
Yeah, knowing is half the battle, they said during the cartoons when I was a kid.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
G.I. Joe. I don't think Disney owns G.I. Joe, though. Maybe they do, though.
I don't know. Knowing's half the battle, though.
All right, guys. Well, if you liked our video, please subscribe and like at the bottom, and we'll be back with more Sons of Thunder next week.